there's nobody that's bigger than the program, coach or player or administrator. There's nobody that's bigger than Clemson and the team. You try to help people, and I don't think you just kick people off teams. I think you have to discipline people. You have to hold people accountable. And I know I made mistakes along the way in my life, and I was held accountable. And you either choose to respond and grow as a person, or you continue down the wrong path and it becomes habitual. And but again, as a program, how you deal with those things, that ultimately separates you. But I think we've got a great group of guys, a great group, and I hope I never have a guy go out and hit a girl. If he did, he wouldn't be here. But you hope that you don't ever deal with certain things like that. There's different levels of bad decision making, and there's different levels of consequences. But we're not immune to anything here. You know why? Because there's people involved. Anytime you got people involved, you're not immune to anybody, anything. We're just a reflection of society. But how you deal with those things ultimately determines, your program. And our guys know at Clemson that nobody's going to look the other way. You're going to be held accountable. We sit guys for things that most programs would never sit people for. But we do. But that's why we top 10 in graduation 5 out of my 6 years too. Because our guys know if you don't go to class, you're not going to play. And if you don't go to class, you're going to be held accountable. You're probably going to sit. You're going to be held. That's just. They know that, and because of that, there's a culture in place here that's been in place. And again, from time to time, it gets challenged. It's like Ammon. Ammon's never given us a minute's problem. I've never had a problem with Ammon, ever. The guy does what he's supposed to do. But boy, what a bad mistake. Embarrassed himself, embarrassed us. But not going to throw him away. Because he made this one mistake. He's going to be dealt with, and there's going to be some pretty severe consequences for him. And if he handles his business, then hey, he'll have a chance to learn and grow from it. Otherwise, you might have a guy like that maybe you have to cut loose. Well, maybe it's not just that one thing. Maybe you've dealt with a few things, and it's like, okay, you just don't get it. And my children, when they screw up, I don't care how mad I can get at them. And their last name's still Swinney. It's a birthright. They were born into it. It's just I can't kick them out of the house. I just, even though you may want to. What are you gonna do? They're still your child, and it's just kind of that. It's just birth. That's a birthright. But being at Clemson is not a birthright. Coaching at Clemson, playing at Clemson, that's not a birthright. That's a privilege. And every now and then you have some guys that forfeit that privilege because they may think they're bigger than the program, or the consequences, the discipline, it's just not working. And so you have to remove that. And we don't have any problem doing that when we need to. Our discipline isn't always the same, but it's fair. It's fair.